And if investors are part of this whole trend scooping up what little home supply there is, will the housing market become a victim of its own success, just too pricey? For more on the market, let's bring in Century 21 Real Estate CEO and President Mike Meadler. They're a wholly owned subsidiary of RealG Holdings. Mike, to me, the real estate business is fascinating right now because you have this tremendous activity, but you have so many real estate agents. I think the Journal had a front page story the other day about how there's more real estate agents than there are homes for sale for maybe only the first or second time ever. So there's a ton of competition to sell these homes. What's that doing to your business?
Yeah, I have seen that article. And the truth of the matter is that, it's actually a low barrier of entry to get into the real estate space and get your license and be in it. But for you to truly be a professional, that takes a lot more study and a lot more professionalism and I think attention to the space. But, we keep hearing a lot of news about how there's just not enough inventory out there right now. And I think that's actually not the real facts. The facts of the matter are that you have a lot of properties coming to market and a lot of homes being sold in the country right now. And that's really just driven by sheer demand. And I think there's so many different fundamentals out there for the real estate space that are driving that demand that we can talk about. But, the truth of the matter is that it's not necessarily an imbalance in the inventory, but just the fact that demand is really so off the charts over these last few, call it 12 months.
Just to understand, you're basically saying it's not that there's too little supply, it's just that there's too many buyers. I mean, that's kind of just stating the problem a little bit differently, though, right? It's to say that there's more buyers than we would have thought for the stock of homes in this country. So you guys aren't builders. You can't just build them. Maybe you can sell some of the ones that the builders are building. But how does this get resolved? I mean, why is it that there's so many more households and buyers than the current stock of homes? And how does that end?
Yeah, I mean, to look at just the general pace of where we're at right now, if you look at it year to date, we're on pace to sell more homes than we did, not just in 2020, which is tough to say because you had COVID statistics and numbers in there where we're shut down for the second quarter, but even more than 2019, even more than 2018, more than we have in quite some time. In fact, Freddie is saying that we could be at about 7.1 million homes sold in the country right now. But you're right. I mean, I think we've been for decades not building enough inventory, specifically, and you heard Diana say it, for that first-time home buyer that's out there right now. But the good news is that in March, as things kind of unfroze, you saw from, according to the National Association of Home Builders, that permits, starts, and even completions are on the rise. And hopefully, to the point made earlier, as other things start to loosen up from a lumber perspective and those three L's that you always talk about, laws, labor, and lumber, if we can loosen them up and get things moving in the right direction, we'll see even more home starts in this country to keep pace with the demand that we're seeing, driven by just a ton of household formations that are out.
Prices are up, but I guess sales are dropping for existing. The number of sales are dropping for existing homes. Is there anything about the current market that reminds you of the market in 2004, 05, which was, I think, the peak nationally? Is there anything there that makes you concerned?
Yeah, Tyler, just to correct you, the pace is month over month they're talking about has dropped, but year over year it's gained.
Right.
It's gained by double digits. And so the units are there as well. It's not just the price, which is at, 100 straight months in a row. And I think that's what people get concerned about is a potential bubble. But I don't think there's the same thing that you see that we did out there where there was, call it 06, 07, 08, where there was 20 months of supply that were sitting out there on inventory. Today, as you guys know, we're stricken. We're 1 or 2 months supply. And I think that fact that you've also got 160 million millennials, Gen Zers, getting into their main earning years, starting families, not want to live in their parents' basement or in the tight condo in the city and moving out to the suburbs. I think you're going to see a lot of that driving continued demand, and not maybe at this sprint pace that we've been on for the last year because of the pandemic, but more at a normal pace, more of a marathon healthy
I know
market.
Kelly wants to squeeze.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.